Hello everybody and welcome to Bug Lover 27. Today, I'm going to be accomplishing one of my YouTube dreams. Making a storytime animatic. Except it's going to be in my version because we all know the quality I can produce. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. This story is going to be going back to my youth. Let's just say I was a semi-timid child. My mom wouldn't agree with you, but I know what I've done. One example, prime example, would be from preschool. We had a show and tell one day, and I went to the teacher towards the end of class because there was a little toy car that I noticed off to the side. And I was about to give it to her so that maybe the next day, the kid can have their toy car back. One of the boys started yelling at me, probably wasn't even trying to say anything that mean, was just saying, give me back my car. And I started bawling. My mom came, was super confused as to why I was bawling my eyes out on the floor. I wouldn't stop crying until at least 30 minutes later. We were home. She had to coddle me in the rocking chair. I'm not very proud of it. But I feel stronger now that I've admitted this story to the world. Anyway, that's just one of the examples of how just so soft I was as a child. Moving on to kindergarten, nothing changed. I was still very, very weak-minded and very weak-souled. Until I met a girl in class. It was our first day of school, and our parents were chatting it up, and she turned to me, and this is exactly how I made my very first best friend. It went down like this. Hey, what's your name? Rebecca. Wow, my name's Hiba. Cool. Do you know how to snap? No. Well, it goes something like this. Legitimately, that's how I made my very first friend. And also how I learned how to snap. So, thanks, Hibs. Anyway, after that, we would go on the playground and play How to Train Your Dragon. Yes. How to Train Your Dragon was a very big thing in our world. I don't have the picture when we were kids, but this is our 10-year later picture. I'm still very proud of it. We would be playing on the playground often, but there was one specific day where this didn't happen. We had this other girl. I would sometimes play with her, but Hiba didn't really know much about her, so if you asked her about it today, she probably wouldn't know especially who you're talking about. But we were playing a game called Walk the Dog. I said we were kindergartners, not geniuses. But this specific day was a little chilly, so while we're on the playground, my leash, when it was my turn to be the dog, was my hood. My hood was all the way zipped up. You can imagine how I went after that. Now, whether this was an accident or she was doing it on purpose, not realizing how much power she really had, because I was a very tiny child, I started choking. And she kept going, even after I told her to please stop because I was hurting. It didn't go very well. I think if it were just a moment later, or if she had started sooner before the yard duty called for recess to be over, I probably would have been passed out. That's how bad it was. I almost died that day. Ugh. Anyway, that's just one example of how even with my life could be in danger, I was so weak. One day, a girl that Hiba and I did know, we're going to call her Justin Bieber girl because she always had this pink Justin Bieber backpack. And I was looking online to find this thing. When I tell you, when I found the backpack, memories flooded my mind. Anyway, she was cornering me one day at recess, forcing me to be her friend. Maybe because she noticed that Hiba and I hung out a lot. I have no clue. But, of course, this was kindergarten. I think kids were way more aggressive and way more intimidating than they actually were looking back. Like, if I were to be there right now, seeing myself handle this, I would have been very disappointed. I still am. But anyway, Hiba came to my rescue and told her to back off. Told her, no, she won't be your friend. Now, let me give you some context. This girl was low-key harassment. Like, she just kept bothering me and being kind of mean to me, so Hiba knew that she wouldn't be a good friend. So she said, no, she's my friend, not yours. Exact words, bro. Exact words. But at the moment, I thought she was like the Queen of England or something. She was so powerful and so strong. I admired her. I still do. But eventually the yard duty came in, started telling us, hey, cut it out. Just rock, paper, scissors or something. Yes, that is what a real yard duty told us to do to solve this very serious problem. Of course, Hiba didn't do that. She wasn't going to take the chance on losing. So they kept arguing. And then eventually Hiba got in trouble with the yard duty, but knowing her parents, they probably applauded her for it. She probably went out for ice cream after. But essentially after that, the girl was told to back off. And, well, after that moment, I realized I need to be stronger. I mean, what if Hiba got into a situation where she couldn't help herself? I wanted to be a person that she could be able to depend on. So from that moment forward, I got myself some tough skin and just went about my life trying to be the best me that I can be. Well, 1 year later, it came into fruition. I was in first grade at the time, and there was a guy, his name was Paul, and he would constantly bully and harass people. One day on the playground, he was harassing one of my classmates. Now, I hadn't talked to her much. We're going to call her Danny. And I had realized that my method of defense was being the tattletale. Now, I don't mean tattletale as in snitches get stitches, but as in I will be able to help people by getting the people who I know have power to come in and kind of use that as, like a Cold War situation. So I told Paul, you better stop being mean to her. Oh yeah, and what are you going to do about it? I'm going to get Principal Tyler. And I don't think he'll be too happy to know what you're doing here. When I tell you, that kid scrammed, he scrammed. I felt so strong, I thought I could move the moon. Well, Danny came up to me, and she thanked me for my service. And then after that, we became friends. We were friends for maybe 10-ish years, 10, 12 years after that, before we kind of drifted apart. But I still highly appreciate Danny for being there, because she was the one who really made me realize just how strong I could be just by standing up for others. Well, emphasis on others. I didn't necessarily stand up for myself until I got towards the end of middle school. But that's a story for another day. But let me just say, using strength, your own inner strength, will make the world of a difference. Not only will you realize that you'll be able to defend yourself, you'll also be able to defend those who you care about, who you love. And that is the greatest gift of all. By the end, I was able to gain lots of friends by my senior year and even got myself a boyfriend. I mean, I'm pretty proud of it. I never thought I would, but I did. But it never would have happened if it were for one friendship, one lifetime friend who now I can tell this story. Now I can be able to say I'm stronger than ever, all because she taught me how to be the strongest me that I can be. Man, it feels great to get that off my chest. It feels like I've been hoarding that into my soul for the longest time. Anyway, there are so many other stories that I would love to share with you guys, hopefully with better quality animation. So if you guys liked this story time, be sure to hit that like button so that I know you guys enjoyed it. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you know the next time I'm able to post. Until next time, this is Bug Lover 27. Have a nice day.